We currently live in a political climate where a right-wing extremist party is in control of all branches of government. We have a demagogue as our president who sympathizes with white nationalists and who is an absolute lunatic. So you would think that the opposition party, Democrats, would more so than ever do everything in their power to resist this ridiculously right-wing extremist agenda, right? But that's not really what they're doing, because a couple of Democrats are actually getting cozy with Republicans, and they are now being bribed and sweetened up in order for them to help Republicans pass their insidious agenda. So Burgess Everett and Annie Carney of Politico explained that Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump are reaching out to Senate Democrats as part of their courtship of Congress on tax reform, according to sources familiar with the matter. The couple is expected to host Senators Joe Manchin, Heidi Heitkamp, and Claire McCaskill on Monday evening at their Colorado home, those sources said. All three are up for re-election next year in states where President Trump is popular. Heitkamp, Manchin, and Joe Donnelly of Indiana are the Senate Democratic votes viewed as most gettable on a tax bill by the administration. They abstained from a Democratic letter laying out hardline demands for tax reform. McCaskill signed that letter, and President Donald Trump called her out at a Missouri rally and said she should be defeated next year if she doesn't support tax reform. Without Democratic votes, Senate Republicans can lose only 2 votes and pass tax reform, but both Manchin and Heitkamp seem open to the administration's outreach, and both have appeared with President Trump in recent weeks. Now, this isn't the first time that Heidi Heitkamp has allowed Republicans to wine and dine her, because she was actually taken on a private jet with Donald Trump to talk about, tax reform. So this is what the resistance is doing. This is what so-called Democrats are doing. They're getting cozy with Republicans, and they're allowing Republicans to butter them up and bribe them so that way they can pass tax cuts for the rich. This is the resistance. And you wonder why Democrats are wiped out at every single level of government, even if the Republican Party is so extreme. It's because you have given your base nothing to vote for. Why would they come out and vote for you if you're going to do the exact same thing that Republicans do? It makes no sense. Why go along with a rogue administration that is hurting the American people, that only wants to cut his own taxes and taxes for his rich friends and family? Why would you go along with that when you know it's contrary to what the Democratic Party is supposed to represent? I mean, why not just change your party affiliation at this point? Joe Manchin, I think he sides more with Republicans and Donald Trump than any other Democrat. He sides more with Republicans than some Republicans probably. There are articles on 538 saying, progressives would be dumb to launch a primary challenge against people like Joe Manchin because you run the risk of being too liberal and flipping that seat to a Republican. Well, what difference does it make? Because if Joe Manchin is going to give Republicans everything that they want, and a Republican would also give Republicans everything that they want, obviously, then why not at least try to flip that seat and get someone more progressive there? Because if I'm remembering correctly, it was the state of West Virginia, where Joe Manchin is from, that Bernie Sanders happened to win all 55 counties in 2016. So if you actually do challenge Joe Manchin to the left, guess what? You might actually beat him. And if the entire left-wing base of the Democratic Party is galvanized in a state like West Virginia, you might actually keep that seat. But with the way that Joe Manchin is going, I don't think that he believes he has to change in order to win. Even though he's pissed off all of the lefties in West Virginia, he thinks that he needs to move further to the right in order to win re-election in 2018, when that's the complete opposite strategy that you should be employing right now. Look, if you are in one of these pro-Trump red states, you need your base more than ever. And if you honestly think that you can court enough moderates, so-called moderates, to make up for the voters that you're losing on the left, well, why don't you talk to Hillary Clinton and see how that went for her when she tried that strategy in 2016? They're incapable of learning their lesson, and this makes me so angry. And look, yes, it is the case that Democrats are still better than Republicans, objectively speaking, if you're a progressive. But the reason why I rail against Democrats who are getting cozy with Donald Trump, Ivanka and Jared specifically, is because if you're a Democrat, then you obviously, with that title, you are claiming to stand up for working values. That's what the Democratic Party name, at least, used to mean, or it should mean. So we should expect better from the party who claims to stand up for the working class, but that's not what we're getting in these milquetoast Democrats like Claire McCaskill, Joe Manchin, and Heidi Heitkamp. They're basically Democrats in name only. So we need to let them know that siding with Donald Trump on tax reform is not acceptable. So Joe Manchin's Washington, D.C. office number is 202-224-3954. Heidi Heitkamp's number is 202-224-2043. And Claire McCaskill's number is 202-224-6154. If you have one of these individuals as your senator, give them a call immediately and let them know that you don't approve of them cozying up with Republicans. They should be resisting Republicans and their harmful right-wing agenda.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.